प्रिया श्री श्रीमद्भक्ति वेदांत नारायणीति नामिने नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत श्री राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वृन्दाय तुलसीदेव्याय प्रियाय केशवस्य च कृष्णभक्तिप्रदे देवी सत्यवत्यै नमो नमः। भक्त्या विहीना अपराधलक्ष्ये क्षिप्तश्च कामादितरङ्गमध्ये कृपामयि त्वां शरणं प्रपन्ना वृन्दे नमस्ते चरणारविन्दम्। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। We'll sing one Kirtan of Guru Tattva. Jaya Jaya Shri Guru. Jaya Jaya Shri Guru. Prema Kalpataru. Adbhuta Japo Parakasha. अद्भुत जापो परकाश आगे आना तिमिरवर ज्ञान सुचंद्र किरणे करुणाश जय जय श्री गुरु प्रेमा कल्पतरु जय जय श्री गुरु प्रेमा कल्पतरु इह लोचना आनंद धाम अजाचित मोहिनो पतिता हरि जो पहु जाचि दयाला हरि नाम जाति दयाला हरि नाम जय जय श्री गुरु प्रेमा कल्पतरु जय जय श्री गुरु प्रेम कल्पतरु दुरमति आगते सतत आसते मति दुरमति आगते सतत आसते मति नाहि सुकृते लवलेश नाहि सुकृते लवलेश श्री वृंदावनो युगल भजन श्री वृंदावनो युगल भजन ताहे करलो उपदेश ताहे करलो उपदेश जय जय श्री गुरु प्रेमा कल्पतरु निर्मल गौर प्रेम रसा सिंचने निर्मल गौर प्रेम रसा सिंचने पूरलो जग जग आशा पूरलो जग जन आशा सोचरना मुझे रति नाही होयना सोचरना मुझे रति नाही होयना रोयत है कृष्णदास रोयत है कृष्णदास जय जय श्री गुरु प्रेम कल्पतरु जय जय श्री गुरु प्रेम कल्पतरु जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Ram Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Ram Rama Hare Hare Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Gaura Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Gaura Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Gora Hari Bol Nitai Gora Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Gora Hari Bol Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Jai Jai Shri Radhe Jai Jai Shri Radhe Shyam
Hare Krishna, everyone. My voice is clear? Okay. Thank you so much for joining today's session. So we will start the discussion now. First of all, I would like to pay my humble obeisances unto my Guru Pad Padma, Sripad Bhakti Vedanta Siddhante Goswami Maharaj Ji, and to Sripad Madhav Priya Prabhu Ji's lotus feet. I pay my humble obeisances to Nitya Leela Pravishta Shri Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Shila Narayan Goswami Maharaj, Nitya Leela Pravishta Shri Srimad Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj, and Nitya Leela Pravishta Shri Srimad Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj. I pay my unlimited obeisances to the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada and all his associates, to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu along with all his associates, to Radha Krishna and all the devotees, Vaishnavas, Vaishnavis present here. So we have been undergoing a beautiful discussion on Jaiva Dharma's introduction. This unparalleled scripture which Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has given to us. This covers all the questions that can come in the life of a devotee. All the questions that might not come also, but they are a very valid question. When we see those questions, we realize that this is that deep question which I would have never even asked in my life. Even after practicing Krishna consciousness for so many years, these kind of questions will never cross my mind also. For me, many times I just simplify it so much that Krishna consciousness, okay, I have to just chant some rounds. I have to do these kind of ritualistic activities, but not really understanding the philosophy on a deeper level. If we don't understand that, we will not be able to understand what our acharyas has come to give actually. Like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he has come and there are so many reasons for his arrival. There are secondary reason, secondary primary reason, primary secondary reason, and primary reason. There are four kind of reasons, categories. So if we don't dwell, we don't get into the words of Acharya, if we don't try to understand the principles of Gaudiya Vaishnavism, then what will happen? We will, we may get stuck with just the secondary part or maybe secondary primary part. But the real wealth is present inside the primary part. So in the same way, with that sequence, we are trying to understand this scripture, this great Jaiva Dharma, which all our acharyas put so much emphasis on. And understanding these, understanding the questions and the beautiful answers given by the great Vaishnav acharyas, then so many of our understanding concepts will become clear and The same activities that we are performing right now, the same chanting, the same devotional service that we are performing right now, we will be able to perform with much proper mood, with much deeper absorption. So, in the last class, just to recap in few minutes, in the last class, we tried to understand the definition first of what is Jaiva Dharma. We understood that, okay, it is the religion of soul. And we also tried to understand the real meaning of religion. It's not just the faith that we see in today's society, Christianity, Islam, all these things. These are faith. These are not real dharmas. These are not religions. The religion of the soul is one and same. As we just discussed in the last class, also gave a beautiful example which all our Guru Vargas gave. The example of water. Water has a nature that it is liquid. The liquidity is the dharma, nature of the water. When it is kept in an foreign atmosphere with different temperatures, like in refrigerator, it becomes a solid. The nature changes. The nature temporarily changes, and as soon as it comes to its normal atmosphere, it becomes again liquid. In the same way, the soul has the single same religion. Be it a Christian, be it a Muslim, we don't differentiate the soul on the basis of these kind of faith. Muslim soul is not different or something else from Indian soul or Christian soul. No. So the religion of the soul we were discussing, and that was Jivera Swarup Hai Krishnera Nitya Das. The Jiva's Swarup, the constitutional position, is being the eternal servant of Lord Shri Krishna. So that part was clear. So this particular statement, it's like the fundamental, it's like the base of whole Jaiva Dharma. Because the topic itself is Jaiva Dharma, means the religion of the soul, and that religion of the soul is being the eternal servant of Krishna. Now, the next important point that we covered in the last class is that is this religion for everyone? Is this religion even for the animals, for other species also? So we started covering some examples that Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur ji has given, quoting from different scriptures like Srimad Bhagavatam, in which he is telling how there are so many different examples which proved that Jaiva Dharma, this religion of the soul, has been followed in other species as well, by the other species as well. Let's try to continue from there. So in this, we can see in the last class, we heard about Ahilya, we heard about Yamal Arjuna, the two trees that were on the courtyard of Nand Baba, who were the sons of Kuver. The name was Nalakuvera and Manigreva. And then we heard a beautiful pastime of King Nriga, who was a great donor, who donated lots and lots of cows to all the Brahmanas and all. And by mistake, because of his carelessness, a thing happened that the cow came back to the shed, and then there was a whole conflict between the Brahmanas, and they cursed him to become a chameleon because he changed his color. He gave a donation and he didn't stay to his word. He changed his words. He changed his commitments. So they said that you change yourself like a lizard, like a chameleon, so you become a chameleon. And he became a chameleon. And then these two Brahmanas, great sages, they felt so much compassion and they told that no worry, after thousands and thousands of years, Lord Krishna will come, he will give you his touch, and from that you will be delivered. Now, here a very important point came that we ended at the last class, we ended with this point. What was the point? Devasva Apaharan and Brahmasva Apaharan. So this is a very strong teaching which all our acharyas they give. What is the meaning of Devasva Apaharan? Apaharan we heard that means abduction. Abduction means stealing. Considering a thing which does not belong to me, but making that forcefully my property, not sharing it with the real owner. So here, Devasva Apaharan is valid when we do this kind of abduction with the Lord. Let's take an example. We all eat food. We all need food because we get hungry. 3 times a day at least we need. So if I don't offer that food because that plant, that grain, everything of this world belongs to Krishna. So if I don't offer it properly, what will happen? I am actually taking something and not even acknowledging whose this thing belongs to. I'm not even offering that thing first to Krishna because it belongs to Krishna. And I am just taking it for my own satisfaction, for my own enjoyment. I am not giving that real share, that first share to Krishna. So that is, I am doing the abduction. That is Devasva Apaharan. A beautiful example which our Guru Vargas give for this is Sudama. We all have heard of Sudama. He is a friend of Krishna. Where he became friend? In the Gurukul. Who was the Guru of Krishna? Guru of Krishna. Sandipani Muni. Sandipani Muni was the Guru of Krishna. And now in that school, there was a classmate and he was Sudama. So Krishna and Sudama, they both together started learning from the Guru Sandipani Muni. Now the important point here is once Krishna and Sudama, they both were given their share of food to eat. But Sudama, in the absence of Krishna, he ate his part also, plus he ate Krishna's part also, and didn't tell him. He hid it. Now, because he ate that part which belonged to Krishna, what happened? Sudama had to undergo so much of poverty. We all know how poor this friend of Krishna, Sudama, is. So, the cause of that poverty of Sudama, this became the cause, that is Devasva Apaharan. So, in his childhood, he took that portion of Krishna, and that became the cause that he had to suffer from so much of poverty. So, we have to understand this is a great lesson for us. We need to keep taking the teachings from all these pastimes, that how everything in this world belongs to Krishna, not just a few meals, not just few grains, but everything, my relationships also, my parents, my mother, my father, my sister, my brothers, my wife, my son. If I consider them as mine, that they should serve me, my brother, my mother, my children, my wife, everyone should serve me, then what happens? Does they really belong to me? They don't really belong to me because they are also Jiva. And who is Jiva? Jivera Swarupa hai Krishnera Nityadas. Jiva is Krishna's eternal servant. It's not my servant, but I am considering it as my servant. So what will happen? I'll have to undergo reactions. I'll have to undergo the reaction that come under this category of Devasva Apaharan. That will be a Devasva Apaharan. Anything that belong to Krishna, I am enjoying it for my benefit, for my enjoyment. So that becomes Devasva Apaharan. Now, Devasva Apaharan is still fine. We all hear this thing again and again. That how, when we do an offense at the lotus feet of Krishna, then the holy name of Krishna is there to protect us, which is more merciful than Krishna also. And not just the holy name, there are Vaishnavas, Guru Vargas, they protect us. They tell Krishna that, oh, it's okay, he did an offense. I just take care of him. I take his responsibility. Now Krishna at once forgives. तोमा स्थाने अपराधे तारे हरि नाम. और फिर next comes that वैष्णवेर स्थाने अपराधे नाहे को एडान. That at the lotus feet of Krishna, if any offense is done, that can be atoned, that can be cleared away by chanting and by the mercy of Vaishnavas. But the offense at the lotus feet of Vaishnavas, the offense at the lotus feet of Guru Vargas, there is no way out. When we approach Krishna also, what Krishna do? I can't do anything. You have to go to that same Vaishnav and beg forgiveness from him, then you may get the real atonement. Otherwise, I also cannot help. So Krishna also raises his hands. Why? I cannot do. So first we heard Devasva Apaharan, and second is Brahmasva Apaharan. So King Nriga, the topic, the example that we took, King Nriga, whose Apaharan, whose abduction he did? He abducted the property of a Brahmana, a saint. So that comes in the category of a Brahmasva Apaharan, and that is very grave. And that's why when Krishna he touched this chameleon in the well, and this chameleon got delivered, he prayed. King Rig came back to his body, his divine body, and started praying beautiful things, beautiful prayers. And Krishna was satisfied. But after all this event, Krishna actually explained this concept of Devasva Apaharan and Brahmasva Apaharan to his grandsons who were playing in the ground. We all heard how King Nriga got contact with Krishna. All these grandsons of Krishna, they were playing with the ball and they threw the ball so high, it went into the well. They saw this chameleon and they called Krishna, let's see this. And Krishna then touched, and this is how the whole event happened. Now, after when this got finished, King Rig got delivered. Now, Krishna is explaining and warning to his grandsons that Brahmasva Apaharan is a very dangerous offense. And you can yourself see the result of it in the form of King Nriga, who became the chameleon. You just saw how he got delivered now. But as you all know, this Brahmasva Apaharan is very dangerous. So you should always be very, very careful while serving Vaishnavas. Always be very, very careful while serving Gurudev. Because they may not directly take offense, but their dissatisfaction may result to dissatisfaction of Krishna. So while serving Vaishnavas, we should be very careful that how is my service really satisfying them? We should be improving. We should be very much aware of how we are serving. And at least first have the desire to serve, not have the offensive mentality, saying, oh, these Vaishnavas, they have nothing to do. What they do whole day? They don't go out to earn money. They just do Hare Krishna whole day. So these are the offensive mentalities. So we have to try to stay away from all these kind of criticisms, all these kind of harsh words, bad mentality regarding these kind of Vaishnav etiquettes. Now, Krishna gave a very beautiful lesson in this way. But because the grandsons of Krishna, how they are? Because they are grandsons of Krishna, so they are also very naughty. Krishna was very naughty when he was in childhood. So they heard this lesson from their grandfather Krishna that okay, we should not do. But still, because they are very childlike, so they still were very playful. And what they did, there just beside there was a forest, and these little boys they were playing, and they went into the forest and they started playing with the sages who were doing strong austerities there. So one of the grandson, whose name was Sam. So this Sam, the grandson of Krishna, he added so many clothes on his belly. So many clothes he added on the belly. And now the friends of this Sam, they are going and picking all these sages and saying that, oh, see, this woman has come. So that Sam got disguised as a woman, like a pregnant woman, with all these clothes inside the belly. So the friends, they are again and again poking all these sages and telling that, just tell, can you tell what is there in this womb? What is there in the womb of Sam? Is it a boy? Is it a girl? What it is? So the sages, at first, they were ignoring. They were just completely ignoring these little boys. But these little boys, they were again and again disturbing them. So that kind of offense came in Brahmasva Apaharan. So when they offended these sages, now the sage, he got very angry, very angry. And in that anger, he said that there is nothing but a strong, sharp metal inside the womb. He said like this. And then said that that same metal, that same sharp weapon will become the cause of the destruction of your whole dynasty, Yadu dynasty. Krishna was from Yadavas. We say na Yadavas. Yadavas means Krishna was from Yadu dynasty. He came in Yadu dynasty. The father Vasudev and Devaki, they were all in that Yadu dynasty. Now, when this sage said like this, they all got so much scared. All the grandsons, they got so much scared. And then when they opened all the clothes from the belly, they really found that there was this sharp metal, sharp iron weapon. And then that's called a shul. Shul in Hindi, it is called shul. So this sharp metal weapon was taken to the Ugrasen Maharaj. When Ugrasen Maharaj, he saw and heard the whole incident, he became very tensed. He said that the words of sages, the anger of sages, it's like a curse and it will not go in vain. And we should try to somehow get rid of it. So he ordered that you just rub this weapon on stone or something so that it gets converted into a powder form. So all of them, they started rubbing this iron metal weapon uh, on a stone or something, and then it just started becoming like a powder. Now there was a very little small piece which was left, which could not be rubbed anymore. So what Ugrasen Maharaj did, he said that just throw this little metal into ocean, and all the powder also into the ocean. So that iron powder and that little metal piece was thrown into ocean. And after some days, a washerman, a fisherman was on his boat in the ocean fishing. He caught a fish. When he brought out that fish, he cut that fish and opened up and found that little metal, that sharp metal, which was left, was thrown by Ugrasen Maharaj. So that little metal came out from the belly of that fish. That fish must have eaten that little metal. So when he saw this, there was a hunter standing next by to him. So he said, this little metal, I don't have any use. So this hunter said that, please, can you just give it to me? I'll use it on my arrow, in the front of my arrow. So I'll use it. So the hunter, he just purchased that little metal from this fisherman. And all that iron powder which was thrown in the ocean, it started coming on the beach side. And when it was coming on the beach side, it became like a thin rod, thin iron rod. It just got collected and then it just joined himself. In the powder got just stick to each other, the particles, and it became like a thin metallic stick, very sharp metallic stick. Now what happened? There became like a curfew situation in the whole Yadu dynasty. Everyone started killing each other, fighting with themselves. And what they used? They used these sharp needle-like metals that was made from the iron powder, which was thrown in the ocean. They all took this metal rods, and they started killing each other. All the Yadavas, all the Yadu dynasty people. And on the other side, that hunter who purchased that little metal piece from the fisherman, he was hunting some animal, and considering Krishna as an animal, he just attacked, and that arrow pierced the feet of Krishna. And that externally became a reason of Krishna's departure. So, how the whole Yadu dynasty got completely destroyed just by that curse of the sage, whom these grandsons of Krishna were just playing, who they offended. So, this is the concept of Brahmasva Apaharan. So, how grave it is. We just heard with so many examples, King Nriga, and also previously we heard the examples of Yamal Arjunas, and now this example that how the whole Yadu dynasty it got destroyed through this Brahmasva Apaharana. So next, another example if we take, which Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is giving, is the example of Bharat Maharaj. This is one of the most famous incident, one of the most famous pastimes that we have all heard from Srimad Bhagavatam, that how Bharat Maharaj was a great king. He got some renunciation. He wanted to do bhajan of Krishna. And then he left all his dustyajya. Dustyajya means that kind of kingdom which is very difficult to leave. He was the king of whole earth planet. He left that. He left his wife, family, children, everyone, and went into the forest. And inside the forest, he was very quietly and nicely doing bhajan and was progressing so much. He reached to the higher stages of bhakti. But at one point, when he was in his meditation, he saw that a deer was approached by a tiger. A tiger was about to kill a deer, and that deer was pregnant. She was having a child in the womb. She was trying to run to save her life and her child's life. Then, as soon as she came on the shore of a river, now to protect herself and her child, she jumped very strongly to cross the river so that she can escape from the tiger. Now, as soon as she just gathered all the force to jump across the river, while she was forcing, at that time, she herself jumped, but the child came out before her jump only. So she crossed the river, but that little child of deer, she was that little child was on this side of the shore only, where the tiger is. Now, when she jumped there, she just got hit with a stone, and she was about to die. But while she was dying, she saw towards Bharat Maharaj, who was doing his bhajan. And Bharat Maharaj, he was seeing all these incidents. The whole incident, Bharat Maharaj is seeing that how she is running away for her life from this tiger. And that little child, it came out and is there in this side of the shore. So when this deer was about to die, she just had an eye contact with Bharat Maharaj. And that eye contact itself said so many things. Through the eyes, this deer was yearning from the heart that, oh, sage, oh, great personality, will you be able to take care of my little child? Will you be able to protect it from this tiger? Now, all that communication happened just through eyes. And Bharat Maharaj, he at once stood up, took that little deer in his hand, and he saw that how the mother deer, she left her body. She died. Now, this Bharat Maharaj, he kept this deer with himself. He started feeding, he started nourishing that deer in every way. Whole day he will spend so much time with this little deer, baby deer. Whenever he used to sit on the meditation, doing his bhajan, always this deer, baby deer, will come and start licking on his face. And then he will just take him, grab that little deer, and keep on his lap and start loving. So, in this way, with time, his bhajan started reducing. His devotion started reducing. He started spending more and more time with this deer. And once what happened after few years, a big herd, a big group of deers came. And now this little deer, she at once went into that group because that's her family. That's the family of deer. That's the same kind of species. So she left. Now Bharat Maharaj, he was so much attached to this baby deer, so much attached. He became so much accustomed to his presence around that when this baby deer left him, he was so much in grief. In the whole forest, instead of chanting Hare Krishna, instead of calling out Krishna's name, he started calling out, "Oh dear, where are you? Oh baby dear, where are you?" Because so much attachment has been developed. How come this attachment came from? This attachment came from service. The attachment that we have in our life, if we observe, it always comes through some exchanges. When we exchange our energy with someone, attachments naturally come. When we exchange services with someone, attachments develop. So, Bharat Maharaj, he who got completely detached from all his great kingdom, all his family, beautiful wife, children, everyone, but being careless, just not being careful regarding this concept of attachment, he started serving that baby deer and ultimately developed so much attachment to that baby deer that at the time of death he was only meditating on this deer only, that where it is, how that baby deer must be, is he getting the enough food, is he really alive or not, has he not eaten by some tiger or something, where is he? So thinking about him like this, he left his body. So obviously, as we have heard in Srimad Bhagavad Gita also, that the consciousness, the mood with which we leave our body, the thoughts that are there in our mind at the time of death, we get another body accordingly. So Bharat Maharaj also, because he was meditating so much on that deer, he got another body as a deer only. So in the second life, he became a deer. But because he was so much advanced in bhakti, because he was not just an initial level of devotee, he was on the stage of asakti bhav. And that's why, by the mercy of Lord, even when he got this body of deer, he still had the memory of his previous birth. So this is kind of a boon which was given to Bharat Maharaj by the mercy of the Lord, that he still remember his previous birth. So remembering the previous birth, he now understand that what all mistakes he did, because of which he had to come into this body of a deer. He left his big kingdom, he left his family to attain the lotus feet of Krishna, to attain this self realization, to get established in this Jaiva Dharma, being the eternal servant of the Lord, to get into that spiritual world and serve Radha Krishna, to serve the Supreme Lord eternally. But what has happened? Here I am. I have become a deer. Why? What went wrong? What went wrong? Now, contemplating on all these things, he found that how he was on such an elevated level, but because he was not careful of whom he is putting his attachment to, he attached himself with this little deer. And as a consequence, he has to come in this body of a deer. Now, Bharat Maharaj, he is an intelligent person. because he is learning from his mistakes. He is learning from his previous experiences. Our Guru Varga says there are three kind of people. First kind is the most dumb, most foolish person. How? The one who does not understand and learn by making the same mistakes again and again. In our life, many times we make a mistake, but then many times we make that same mistake again and again. I have been gone through the pain of taking that bad decision. I have gone through taking that pain of little sense enjoyment. But still what happens? I again indulge into the same thing. I again get into the same situation which I was really repenting last time. I was just beating my head, but still I again made the same mistake. So that comes in the lowest level. That is the foolish person who is not learning from again and again repeating the same mistakes. How many lessons he need? Then comes the second category, which is a person, he makes a mistake and he learns from it. He learns from it such way that he never ever again makes that same mistake. That comes an intelligent person. And then the third person, this third person is the best of all. This third category is the best of all. What it is? This category is when a person learns from others' mistakes. First category was a person is not learning from his own repeated mistakes, just suffering and suffering again and again. Second category, which is an intelligent category, in which a person makes a mistake once, but then he gets completely careful. Oh, it's so much suffering. This will be such a setback for me. I don't want this. I will never gonna get into this again. So that person will not go into that. That's an intelligent decision. Intelligent person learning from one's mistake in just one one go. But the third category is the best of all, in which a person just learn from observing others' mistakes. So who we are, in which category we belong, that's a question to ourselves, and we only can answer this. So we should ask this question every day while doing every task. That is this the thing that I am doing? It's really something that will not make me repent later? Am I not making a mistake which I have already done? Am I not getting into that same quicksand? So these kind of questions should come. And this third category person, there is one common thing in all these. The best category that we discussed, there is one common thing. What? How can actually a person learn from others' mistake? Only and only by sadhu sangha. When we keep on hearing the words of our Guru Vargas, they injecting us, keep injecting this serum, keep injecting this medicine inside us, that how we start understanding those things also that we have not gone through. We start understanding that, oh, I should not indulge in those things, although I have never indulged. But I will never indulge now also because my Guru Vargas has told this is a bad thing. If you do this, you will be away from Krishna. So, who can come in that best category? Only those who take shelter of pure Guru Vargas, pure Vaishnavas. Otherwise, no one can come. And that became the same reason of why Bharat Maharaj had to fall down. Bharat Maharaj is not an ordinary person. He is an associate of the Lord. He is at such a high level, but he is teaching us through this own example that how he left his family, he left his kingdom, he left his wealth, everything he left, and was again and again, he was doing such a deep absorption bhajan in the middle of the forest. But what was the fault? What went wrong that he had to undergo this? And he is explaining. that how he came to this second category instead of that topmost category. He became intelligent, but not the best of all intelligence. He explains, our Guru Vargas explain this, that how Bharat Maharaj, he left his family, he left everything, he did bhajan, but he did Nirjan bhajan. What is Nirjan bhajan? Secluded bhajan, performing devotion in seclusion. Oh, I will not stay with devotees. There is so much disturbance they create, so much politics goes on, so many different kind of disturbances. Somebody just keeps giving me some kind of services. I don't want to do. I want to just chant. The dharma of this Kali Yuga is to chant the holy name, and that's the best. That's it. I am not qualified, but still I start thinking like this. And with this kind of mindset, what I feel, oh, with devotees, there is always going so much on, so much going things and all. So let me just go to Radha Kund. Let me just go to the forest and start doing my own bhajan there. I'll just sit quietly. There will not be anyone to disturb me, and I'll simply chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. But what happens ultimately? When we don't have sadhu sangha, we are like who we are like? We are like a tortoise. We are like a turtle without a shell. The shell of a turtle is the hardest part. No animal can break it. So that shell is like the protection of sadhus, the protection that we get from Vaishnavas. If we are outside in a seclusion, if we are outside into the forest like Bharat Maharaj, then we are like a tortoise which does not have any shell, and we are prone to be eaten by any animal. A little cat, a little dog also will come and eat us. We will not be protected. So that shell of sadhu sang is the most important. And those who have that shell, those who have that sadhu sang, those who take the real benefit of it, those who take genuinely the shelter of Vaishnavas, what happens to them? They come into this third category, the topmost category. They start learning from others' mistake. They start learning from others' mistake also. Like right now, we are hearing all these concepts by our Guru Vargas. So from this itself, we get this understanding that okay, I want to do bhajan, I want to follow Guru Vargas, and I want to chant also. But as Guru Vargas have said, chanting and performing bhakti in a secluded place is dangerous. So although I have not done yet, but I am now careful. How? Because I have been hearing the words of Guru Vargas. I have been associating with them in some way or other. And that's why I'm now very careful, trying to be very careful. So I haven't made that mistake, but already from others' mistake, they are giving me this example of Bharat Maharaj. They are telling me so many examples like this. And just by hearing those examples, I feel okay, I should follow what Guru Vargas are saying. I am not gonna do this kind of activity. So this naturally, when we do sadhu sang, we comes into the best category, best of all category. That category which makes us sit into a bullet train to Golok Vrindavan. This is like a privilege. So sadhu sangha, such an important thing, and Bharat Maharaj himself is showing through his own example that I did not actually being careful of having sadhu sang. I did my secluded bhajan, and this is the result that I have become a deer. How? Guru Vargas explained that if just yourself think, if Bharat Maharaj, he must be staying in an ashram. If he is staying in an ashram with all the pure devotees, all the sadhus, sages, then if such same incident happen in his life, that the same deer incident, he got attached to this little deer, that little deer was saved by Bharat Maharaj. Now he is playing with him, he is caring him, he is nourishing him. So when he is around the devotees, then will the devotees, the sages, will they not poke? Will they not say, hey Bharat, Bharat Maharaj, what are you doing? You have left your family and came into the forest for what? For doing bhajan. And this deer is becoming the cause of your distraction. We will not let this deer come near you. We will not let you getting distracted like this from your bhajan. So must be, if he would have been into that ashram, he would have got that atmosphere in which the devotees are observing him, that where he is going wrong. But if he is alone, there is no one to observe. The person start listening to his own mind. The person start thinking, oh, it's fine. Devotees, they have a very pure heart. They have a very soft heart. We should be compassionate to everyone. We should be compassionate to this helpless little deer. So, what's wrong in doing this? Mind start doing like this. But what happens ultimately? Loss of bhajan. So that's the importance of sadhu sangha. And this is what Bharat Maharaj learned in his next birth. That how, oh, I got attached to this deer, and that's why I'm in this deer body now. So he had this boon that he could recall, he could remember all his previous birth's activities. What made him fall down? What did he do that went wrong? And then he became very careful. Now, even being a deer, he is not leaving the ashram of devotees. He is staying in the forest as a deer, but he is always just in a circumference, just around, always staying just around the ashram of the devotees, the sages. He is not getting mixed with other deers, not getting mixed with them, and not eating any grass also. What eating? Eating only the leftover prasadam of all these Vaishnavas. The Vaishnavas who are staying in that ashram, they eat whatever left, they throw in the garbage. Now this deer will come at a particular time, will eat those remnants of Vaishnavas. Not eating anything else. Always staying there only. Sometimes tries to get into Harikatha. In the lecture hall, all the Vaishnavas are discussing. In the lecture hall, they are discussing Bhagavatam. Now, Bharat Maharaj, in the form of a deer body, he is trying to peek in so that he also can hear. But what happening? The Vaishnavas are getting disturbed and they are showing him out. Stay out. Now Bharat Maharaj is just repenting. I was having such a useful human body. Now see this. I am having deer body. I cannot even hear Harikatha. I cannot be really serve and do sadhana the way I could do in human body. So he is repenting all his mistakes. He is learning from his mistakes. And then ultimately, like this, he gave up his body in that ashram only. Never left the association of devotees, of Vaishnavas. And then in the next birth, the third life, he again got a human body. And this time, because he was so advanced, he always stayed aloof from all kind of materialistic person. And that's why his name was Jad Bharat. He showed himself as a madman. First was Bharat, first lifetime. Then he fell down and came in the form of deer body. So try to understand that he is a pure devotee of the Lord. When we talk about him falling down, it's not in real. It's like he is showing through his example. These are associates of Krishna. They are Mahabhagavatas. They are doing particular things to show us from their example, to teach us the lessons. For example, we see the Jaya Vijay, the doorkeepers of Lord Narayan. They came in the form of Ravan, Kumbhakaran, Shishupal, Dantavakra, and Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksh. So when they came, so it's not that we should have this harmonizing ability, that how these are all beautiful pastimes that Lord is performing, his devotees are performing to teach us. So in the first birth, Bharat Maharaj, he was a king. He left, he got attached to a deer, and then he fell down and became a deer in the second lifetime. And then he learned from his mistake, and then he stayed in the ashram of Vaishnavas. And third lifetime, he again got a human body. But this time, what happened? He showed himself like a madman, so that there will be no expectation from the family members. He is not speaking anything. He is not learning language. He is not doing anything. The parents, they are trying to teach him one little Om. Try to speak Om. He is not able to speak. So Jad Bharat, this third lifetime, he showed himself as a completely foolish, completely useless for any material responsibility, any material education, any material job or work. Showing himself like this, everyone is taking benefit from him, using him, misusing him. He is letting them do. And his mind always absorbed at the lotus feet of Krishna. So, through this example, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, he is explaining that how Bharat Maharaj also, in the form of a deer in his second lifetime, what he did? He accepted Jaiva Dharma. He followed Jaiva Dharma by associating with the Vaishnavas, by doing what he could in that form of body. He knew he could not chant on beads in the form of a deer, but he knew he could at least take the remnants of Vaishnavas. And he was again trying the best to progress in this Jaiva Dharma, to attain, fully attain that real constitutional position. So Bharat Maharaj, such an amazing example. The whole life and teaching, it if we just discuss about Bharat Maharaj, it will take like a whole week, 20, 30 hours, if we just discuss about Bharat Maharaj. So many teachings, the whole Bhagavatam's canto has been allotted to Bharat Maharaj's pastimes. All these three lifetimes. So many instructions. So in the form of deer also, how Bharat Maharaj ji, he elevated himself. He stick to that. He accepted that Jaiva Dharma. And then Shri Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he's explaining another example of Surabhi. We all know Surabhi the cow. And then there are three, four more examples. One beautiful example is of Gajendra, who in the form of an elephant, he accepted this Jaiva Dharma. So the time already it's 3:33. So we discussed today about Devasva Apaharan, Brahmasva Apaharan, the abduction that we do, the stealing that we do from Krishna, from the Lord, by not offering everything to Him, by considering us ourselves as the enjoyer, as the master of everything. So that's Devasva Apaharan. And then more dangerous one is Brahmasva Apaharan, that we heard the example of Nrig Maharaj also, and heard that how the whole Yadu dynasty got destroyed just by this Brahmasva Apaharan. Offense to a Vaishnava, offense to the devotees of the Lord. Krishna never accepts that, never likes it. He is okay with if someone is offending him, it's still manageable. But offense to Vaishnavas, not manageable. Bhakti gets completely destroyed. It is said that our Bhakti creeper, it's like a very small, delicate plant. So that small, little, delicate plant, it needs a fencing. It needs a strong fencing. From what? Fencing to stay protected. A little plant is easily plucked out. A little plant, if you just walk over it, it will easily break. So that little plant need a strong fencing. That fencing is of sadhu sangha. And then again, Vaishnav offense is considered as a mad elephant. A mad elephant who is running here and there on the ground, where this little soft plant of bhakti creeper has been planted. So if a mad elephant come there, what will happen? That little creeper, even if there are fences, just break all the fences and destroy the plant at once. Destroy that bhakti creeper at once. So that's how dangerous Vaishnava offense is. Criticizing a Vaishnavas. It's like a mad elephant which completely destroys our bhakti creeper. So we should be very careful with this. That I'm not criticizing anyone. Srila Gurudev Shishimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj he used to tell that we are not allowed to criticize even a dog eater, a meat eater. But we Don't know from where we get that gut to criticize our senior Vaishnavas also. Our God brothers, our God sisters. We start criticizing. We don't take even a moment to think. So these kind of concepts, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, our Guru Vargas, they put so much stress on. If we are reading Jaiva Dharma and not understanding these concepts and not becoming careful, then what's the point? This is the knowledge between the line that Guru Varga give us and tell us to be careful and to do the same activities of devotional life, but with a proper understanding. Otherwise, we are prone to make mistakes. So that's why we need to get into that third category, the three categories that we discussed: the foolish, the intelligent, and the most intelligent. And we can become the most intelligent only by sadhu sangha. Then we heard Bharat Maharaj's example. Now, in tomorrow class, we will heard the beautiful example. Not tomorrow, the next week's class on Friday, we'll hear beautiful, so much full of lessons. This example of Gajendra, who came in the form of an elephant, and how, being in the elephant body, he could accept Jaiva Dharma. What was his previous birth, because of that great strong fortune or sukritis, the spiritual merits, that he could actually offer prayers and accept this Jaiva Dharma even in the body of an elephant. We will try to understand the whole inside and out of it in the next class. Okay, Hare Krishna. वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः.
Hare Krishna, Dandavad.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you so much for joining.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
If there are any doubts also, please you can share in the group.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
You can personally also message
Hare
me on the
Krishna.
WhatsApp.
Very nice, Prabhuji.
And I'll try to give the answers as per my qualifications. Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, Simta Didi. Hare Krishna, Shubh Krishna Das Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna,
How
Dandavad.
are you, Prabhu? How are you, Didi?
Good.
Good to see you. Good to see you, na? Nice
So, yeah.
Harikatha, na? Nice Harikatha.
Thanks for
Very
sending
nice,
me
na?
the very nice. Yes.
That's all right. Prabhuji, I miss you so much.
Okay. Hare
Hari Bol. Bye bye. Take care.
Hare.
Jai Gurudev.
Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Jai Gurudev.
Hare Krishna.
Hare.
Thank you, Prabhuji.